Well, we have an interesting guest today on this special episode of Adapting here in the Monarch Theatre in Medicine Hat. As you can see, we look similar, and no, we are not clones. This is my mother, Elaine Giles, and she's gonna basically walk you through how she supported me on my journey when I found stuff in here. So, you excited to be here, Mom?
I'm very excited to be here and talk about you and what we went through and how we've come out the other end just stronger than ever.
Definitely, yeah.
I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to hearing your side of this too, because we've heard a lot of Kirah's journey, and it's been really fascinating to see how she's adapted and moved through and found a way to live her passions. Part of why we are in the historic Monarch Theatre today is because we're talking about those hidden talents, but there was a journey before we can get to those pieces in life.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's hear a little bit about you and your side of things, Elaine. So how has this journey been from a parent's point of view?
It's been a long journey. Kirah has always been eccentric.
Definitely.
She's always been very different, and we knew from being very young that there was something. But seeing child psychologists and all these very many professionals said Kirah's functioning fine, let her continue functioning fine. So they didn't want to put a label on her. They said, why label her? So I am an educated woman, but you listen to the people that are far more educated than you in that, avenue.
Absolutely.
So Kirah was functioning fine in school, and she was getting through. She was bullied a little bit, and
a little.
Yes, she was. She was bullied for being different. But I hope it's made her a little stronger now we've come through it.
When I got to high school, I took that stuff in stride.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, screw you, I'm me. Yeah. You can just walk away. I'm fine.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was evident that when Kirah became an adult, she was no longer functioning fine. And she went to Medicine Hat College and unfortunately failed her practicum. And it was at that point when one of the professors there expressed that she thought Kirah might be autistic.
Yeah, she said specifically that since I bounce my knee and do this with my fingers or just genuinely fidget, that she was either thinking I was restless or autistic. And to be honest, that angered Mum to such a wild degree.
Well, it didn't anger me because we already sort of knew that there was something. So I wasn't angered.
It angered the psychiatrist.
Angered the psychiatrist, yeah. So we went back to the psychiatrist with the letter that the professor had given, because I asked her to write a letter stating why she thought Kirah was autistic. We took it to the psychiatrist and he was no support whatsoever. And me being me, I got home, cried, and decided, let's pull up the big girl pants and let's sort this out. So we got Kirah a psychologist out of Calgary. We had to pay privately, which is a luxury that we have. I recognise that there's lots of people out there that don't have that luxury. So we do feel very fortunate. Kirah was diagnosed very quickly with autism, ADHD, anxiety disorder, and what was the fourth one?
I thought it was just those three.
No, I can't remember the fourth one.
Innate weirdness, probably?
Maybe.
I like that about you.
Yeah, me too. So that was great because that gave us something tangible to utilise. And I get people not wanting to label their children. I understand that. And I was probably one of those parents when we came out those appointments when they said there's nothing wrong with her, like she doesn't need a label. I think I was probably relieved that she didn't have that label. But it's not until you can reflect back on what happened and as an adult, her not being able to function fine and not being able to mix within society properly, or reach the goals that she had for herself. I wish that she had been given that diagnosis a lot earlier, because she's missing, even now, she's missing tools in her tool belt that she would have been able to gain as she was younger, moving forward in her education. So I hold a little bit of guilt for that, because I feel I should have maybe advocated harder, but then I have to be kind to myself and recognize that when the professionals are telling you these things, that you have to listen, because they know better than you. So we've done a lot of work, and it's been a lot of paperwork and lots of counselling and self-reflection, but we are here today. Kirah's in a really good place, and that is thanks to Reddy as well. So we're very happy with where we are, and no regrets, right? A diagnosis doesn't make Kirah any different, because Kirah is who she is, and we're very proud of the young woman that she's become. And she's very talented.
Yeah, absolutely, she is. I had the chance to watch her in a couple of plays. So yeah, she's quite a remarkable human being. And even through this project, we've seen a lot of really great stuff come out. You know, I think that piece around labeling comes out a lot for people. It's hard to put a label on ourselves, right? It seems that labels are everywhere. Yeah. And then when we talk about our children having that attached to them, I can completely understand.
Yeah. Well, and I think back in the day, there was a stigma around labeling your child, that it was going to be a disadvantage for them, when actually by them having that label gives them the access to the
supports.
The many supports, because there's not just one, there's many different supports that each child needs. Autism is a very massive scale, and not one autistic person is the same as another, and they all fall within it, but the supports that each one needs is very, very different. And I do feel that Kirah really did miss out on gaining those supports.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off about not being diagnosed back then. Looking back, I was like, you didn't want to label me? You should have done.
Yeah, but we know that now, and we just have to move forward, right?
Yeah,
because we can't do anything about the past and what happened before, but we can sure move forward with a positive attitude and looking forward to the future, right?
I mean, even though I've got this knocking about in my head, that's not stopping me from being on the silver screen or the big screen that's probably behind us.
I think so. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to peek, but I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah.
I'd probably break it. So, but I think that's fair, right? It is really easy to look back. It's easy to look back and think, oh, I shouldn't have done, or I wish I would have. Think about even something as simple as playing lottery numbers. Oh, if I would have just played these numbers, I would have won, right? It's all kind of the same thing, because to look backwards, we can't change anything that happened there, right? However, it's a really good opportunity for learning now to ask for different supports, to seek out those different supports to help you grow and do different things, right? Yeah. So the door's open, just open maybe a little later in life, but at least it's open.
Definitely.
So the part that I'm really excited to hear about is I want to hear your mom tell us all about all of those hidden talents that you have, because I've seen a little bit of the acting, Kirah. I've seen a little bit of the music or the singing side of Kirah. I'm hearing about other things though, like musical instruments and all these things that I haven't seen myself. So what are some of these amazing talents from your perspective?
So Kirah was very thankful when me and her father had twins, because she had an audience that couldn't move. And Kirah was 3 when the twins were born, so she was very excited about that, and she performed for them all the time. Kirah's first real acting was when she was in kindergarten, and we were living in England at the time.
They'd always do these Christian plays, and the first role I booked was, be prepared to laugh, audience, Whoops-a-Daisy Angel.
Whoops-a-Daisy Angel, and it was magical. It was so good, and all the children, and bearing in mind they were only small, all the children were stood there.
Like about 5-ish. They were all just like statues.
Didn't know what to do, and Kirah is amongst the stage, like giving it all this. So we knew that from very young she was going to be.
I remember tripping on stage. That was part of the character. And I made the audience laugh.
Yes, she did. It was very good. So we always knew. So every school that she went to, Kirah's been to a few because we're a military family. So she has had a lot of different schools.
Yeah. It was a rough upbringing, just moving from one place to another.
It was hard.
Quickly adapting to every single situation. Like, I don't know if this is the right order. England, Germany, England, Canada, Northern Ireland, Canada, in that order.
Yeah, that's correct. So, she performed in every school that she was in. When we moved back to Canada, because we moved away and then came back, she was in a play in Parkside School, which was phenomenal.
The Bottom of the Lake?
Yeah, it was an amazing play.
I was performing in the Esplanade and I was the ghost character, and I heard the audience gasp when I revealed the big twist. They were like,
yeah, it was amazing.
And I just stopped and like took it all in because I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this.
Yeah, it was amazing. So lots of acting. She's been involved with local children's theatre and adult theatre. But the biggest, the most interesting that I think is interesting is, it was a couple of years ago when Kirah said, I'd like to play the violin. I was like, okay, you know what, we get some money from England, from our family, so how about you buy yourself a violin? Bearing in mind, Kirah had never played the violin. She got the violin on Christmas morning and literally she went into the bedroom and she was playing a song on it. And I said, and that is the gift that you have, that she was able to pick up an instrument and just play a tune on it straight away.
I played Ode to Joy like that.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I think there's all these hidden talents about people that as we move through, we never really get to see. And people don't have, I don't think, the bravery all the time to share what those things are. So I think that's really cool that you kind of just show it all and let it all.
The only one thing I will never share is that I can't dance that well.
I saw you in Descendants and you did okay in your routine in Descendants. I think you did just fine.
Yeah, well, not the freestyle dancing.
But that's okay.
It's okay to take the compliment.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
it
true.
is. Absolutely.
I'm just self-conscious when it comes to dancing because your parts are moving.
Yeah, we're all self-conscious when we're dancing, Kirah.
I look like a rubber chicken.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I'm a terrible dancer. And the older I get, the worse I get. I'm fairly certain about this.
As long as you're enjoying your dancing, that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
My thing is now talking. You know, I couldn't talk in front of people when I was younger. I would be sick to my stomach, and I always dreamed about talking to people. I always dreamed about being like a motivational speaker or being on stage doing something. And I think it's kind of cool that we're on a stage having a conversation when I normally would be, well, when I was younger, me would just be like sick all over the place. I know it's gross, but it's a true story. So I think it's kind of cool to be in this space talking about all the things that we used to keep inside and quiet and now share with the world.
Yeah.
Because it really is a gift. Right? Like, and there's so many that I've learned about you as we've moved through this. So what are some of those other pieces of Kirah that you would consider a hidden gift that maybe she doesn't show with everybody?
I can't shut up.
Yeah, that's the one. So she doesn't like silence. So we drove to Calgary. We went to England a couple of weeks ago and we drove to Calgary and Kirah wanted to drive. So she drove and she didn't stop talking the entire way there. But if I drive, she goes on her phone and it's like radio silence.
Well, because I got
because
music
she's
playing
not
in my
occupied.
ear.
She needs to be, the brain needs to be occupied all the time. And yeah, so she doesn't shut up. She's quite right, you don't. But she's an amazing singer. Amazing singer.
That's true.
And what about this big dream of going to film school?
Yeah, it's either Toronto or Vancouver or Lethbridge, depending on where I feel like. And but mostly Toronto, because they called me up a couple weeks ago about their video editing program. But that's not really what I want to go for in the film industry. I want to be in front of the camera, not behind it. It's no offense. But yeah.
What do you think about that, Mom?
She can do anything that she puts her mind to. My worry as a mom is that vulnerability piece, because she does have difficulties and she comes across as a confident young lady. But obviously I'm a mom and those feelings, even though she is an adult, I'm still her mom. So
she wouldn't let me drive her car during the lesson. It took 20 minutes in the Canalta Centre parking lot. She was like, okay, we're done. It's like, it's been 20 minutes.
It's hard being a mom.
It is hard being a mom, Kirah.
I mean, I haven't had kids yet, so I have no idea.
You wait, and there's like this odd moment now. My children came to me as teenagers, so I have 2 incredible stepsons, which we don't do the step thing. My boys are my boys. But I tell you, they're like in their just about to be 30 and mid-30s, and I still have the same thing when they leave the door. Right? If they're headed out on a road trip, call me when you get there. Do you have what you need? Here's some snacks. Don't forget the water. Like, you worry. It's just part of being a parent. Mm-hmm. It's a type of love that I don't think that you understand until you experience it, that piece.
Yeah.
So I would think she did pretty good at 20 minutes.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. So yeah, I am concerned in one way because of that vulnerability piece. But if it's something that she really wants to do, then we'll try and figure it out.
Mm. That's awesome. That's awesome. You have a really amazing support team behind you.
Well, definitely. I've got a mother who supports me endlessly, a dad who molded me into the woman I am today, and two younger siblings that would basically be my support system if they had support systems of their own. Because honestly, my younger brother has a theory that he's got the same thing going on, but not to my extent. It's a theory, honestly. And since I also met up with like a bunch of old friends and they know what I'm going through. So that's pretty much a big thing.
I think I had the pleasure of meeting your brother, the same thing during Descendants. Mm-hmm. And I had to say he's a pretty great support system for you too. And I have a feeling just how you two interacted that you've got his back 100%.
Well, yeah, we do fight like angry cats fighting over fish. But we do love each other.
Well, it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we all find our support systems. So I really didn't realize I had a friend group until 3 years ago. And then imagine I have this huge friend group. I'm like, oh, wow, I wasn't paying attention. It pops up. Mm-hmm. Support pops up when you're ready for it. So what are some other things along this journey? I can't stop thinking about film school. So you said you found out about an editing program. Yeah. But what would a program look like to be in front of the camera?
I feel like it would just be working about improv, where the set pieces are, how to project your voice in the theatre. Just mainly, conveying emotions for the people that are watching the movie, for example. Say that you're supposed to be sad. You don't want to be like this, just underacting, or don't want to overact too, like have a sob fest when it's just like to be a single tear. That part I know exponentially.
Do you think that piece of being on the spectrum kind of makes it difficult with the emotion piece because maybe it gets communicated a little differently?
Honestly, if it's comprehensive enough, the ADHD isn't an issue when it comes to projecting emotions for the camera. I mean, the tears are real sometimes, honestly. And whenever it comes to a miscommunication, I'd ask them to clarify. I'd ask the director to clarify what they would like from me in that scene.
Fair.
But yeah, it would be cool to like actually learn how to act from not just like an elective piece, like for an actual job.
That's and cool. What's the big dream? Movies, stage?
Movies, stage, sitcom, I don't care.
She's just aiming high.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So if you had a piece of advice, Elaine, to share with other parents when their kids come with big dreams, what would be your advice to parents when they're, especially, and I think that this happens with a lot of individuals with disabilities, is those dreams are quashed because of the label.
Yeah.
Right? So what would be your advice?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I know, but I
think it's important.
I think it's important. And I just see this amazing support system that's been set up for Kirah with her family, where it doesn't sound to me like anyone's ever made her feel small.
I mean, right? People have tried in the past.
But not your people. Not your people.
Not my people, just people. But then again, I think of what my people would do. Like, for one, my mom would say, okay, I can see where you're coming from, and I will take this in strides, but my dad's just like, grab the tank, run them over.
Fair.
Yeah. So my advice would be, and obviously it would depend because Kirah has some functioning, whereas another child on the spectrum might not have as much functioning. So it does depend on each individual child, absolutely. But you don't say no before you've looked into it, because dreams happen, right? And who are we to, as parents, to say you can't do that? Like, that's hard when that's all you would like to do. So will she get to film school? I don't know, but we'll try and get to there if we can.
Yeah.
We'll try our best, eh?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really incredible. And I would agree with you that word no causes so much damage. My son's an amputee, and one of his doctors that he went to for a prosthetist was dealing with, another one of his clients was a football player and his son. And his son really wanted to play football, but he kept telling himself, no, I can't play football. I only have one leg. So his dad's key was, well, we don't say no. We say, I'm not there today, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
Right? And every day we make a step towards that.
Yeah. And I think it's not to look at that end goal, which is exactly what you've just said. It's not that end goal is way over there. But if we can make steps every day to be able to get a little bit closer, then that's progress and that's positive. So, yeah, that's what we do, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
We're trying our best to figure this out, this thing called life.
I mean,
Makes it a little easier on the mom heart, too.
It does make it a little bit easier on the mom heart.
Yeah, even during the military years, we made progress with moving like every single which way we could. And even though we've been away from England so long, honest to God, we had like a hard time adjusting to the traffic.
We did have a hard time
But
adjusting to the traffic.
It's a lot of traffic. It's a lot of traffic.
And I lost my train of thought. Hold on. ADHD moment. We made it work no matter where we were.
Yeah, we always do.
Like, for example, when we moved to Northern Ireland, we had to keep my father's military identity a secret because of the conflict that happened back at the time. And it was really hard to lie to people. But then Mum said, just say he's an engineer, which wasn't a complete lie.
No, we have to protect our people too.
We do have to protect our people. Very true.
That is true.
All right. So before we get on to speaking with the incredible Frank Devine, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, there is. And this stemmed from the psychiatrist saying that there was no support within Medicine Hat for Kirah when I asked if we could get a referral for a diagnosis. And he said, no, you're going to have to pay for that yourself. It's going to take you a long time to be referred, and there's no support in Medicine Hat. You are her support. And that's when I left the office and I cried. And then it was horrible. It was horrible. But like I said, I got on with it, Googled, and there's a lot of support in Medicine Hat for people like Kirah, a lot of support. And we have used a lot of it.
Yeah, we've used the provincial building. I've talked to a counsellor at the provincial building.
Yeah, we used the youth hub, we've used Ready.
We've used the YMCA.
Yeah, the YMCA. Lots of different organisations that all deal with their own individual area. But I am so overwhelmed with the support that Kirah has had. So if you feel like there's nobody out there for your child, Google. It's the future.
Absolutely.
It's a lifesaver.
And there's someone for everyone.
There sure
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
There's always support out there.
Yeah.
You
Not
just have
always
to-
the easiest to find.
It's not
No.
always the easiest to find, but it's there. All you have to do is look.
Yeah.
Or in this case, Google.
Google.
Google's fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for joining
you.
us, Elaine, and sharing a little
Thank
bit
you so
about
much,
your
Mom.
story.
You're welcome, baby.
All right. And now we're going to welcome up Frank Devine to tell us a little bit about the Monarch. So,
Speaking of, I hear you have a bunch of facts about Monarch right in there.
well, they're half in here, but I do have a backup copy here. So
Okay.
something that I think is really cool about the Monarch Theatre is the Monarch is the oldest intentional, like freestanding movie theater, multi-purpose movie theater building in the country. Let me see if I have this right. So, yes, built in 1911, it proudly holds the title of Canada's oldest purpose-built movie theatre, a beacon of innovation and community spirit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's
hey?
insane. Just from the feel, I can tell I've been teleported back to the 30s.
I love this building. I had friends get married right here a few years ago, and it was the most beautiful wedding ceremony.
I only came here once to watch Escape from Planet Earth, and that was it.
They make the best popcorn.
Oh yeah.
They do make the best popcorn.
I don't remember what their popcorn tastes like, honestly.
I will never forget the popcorn that I had in this building because it was so incredibly good.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed coming back in here is that it's larger, way larger than Cineplex. 21 rows of seats.
That's impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of like that it's classic.
Yeah. No, it's a
Okay,
classic,
I lied.
Like,
I'm
homage
totally
to,
going to touch this just a little bit.
like old theatre.
How great is this?
Very much so. The fact that this could easily be like a little announcement stage and then just peel back away to reveal a movie
Are you
stage.
waiting for us, Frank? We'll talk forever. So you come on up, watch your step. Mr. Frank Devine, how are you today?
Smashing.
Excellent. This is my co-host, Kirah.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How's it going, Kirah?
We've met, I think, at your office. I was there doing a presentation a little while ago with Reddy.
Yes.
Thanks for coming to share a little bit about the Monarch. And I hear you're also involved with the Rotary.
Yes. Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about your role here with the Monarch Theatre building?
Okay. Well, I'm actually the president of the Monarch 1911 Society. The society was formed out of Rotarians, not a Rotarian club. So if you're a Rotarian in Medicine Hat, you can be part of that society.
That's pretty cool.
Basically, we wanted to save the building as individuals that live in Medicine Hat. And the opportunity came up. It actually came up about 15 years ago and we looked at it, but we didn't get it back then. Then it came up this time and we managed to pull it off with the city.
That's excellent.
That's awesome.
Yes.
It's quite a special place.
It is a very special place and the timing was impeccable for us when Luke did the documentary to recognize it as the oldest operating purpose-built movie theater in Canada.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, it was a mouthful, but that was, and he showed 15 sold out shows here.
I've heard it was really
for that.
popular.
Yes, and he's getting world recognition because he's on the circuit for the movies, so he's doing very well with it.
That's excellent.
Yes.
Our little theater.
Our little theater and little old Medicine Hat. Who would have thought?
Well, yeah, a little bit of history everywhere you go. Hey.
Yeah.
So why is it important for the Rotary, or for now, you said you qualified there between the Rotary and Rotarians. So
Yes.
it's not a Rotary project.
It's not a Rotary Club project.
Okay.
It's a Rotarian project.
Okay, so just individuals that are involved with the service club.
Totally, yes.
Okay.
Because the clubs themselves are their own
Branch?
Yeah, their own branch, and they didn't want to take on any liability. Us as Rotarians have no problem taking on liability. We do it our whole lives.
Absolutely.
We wanted to this is a beautiful venue.
It's a gorgeous.
We want this venue to be here for the community. So we have plans we're actually just waiting, by the end of this month, we should have the final conservation plan complete. Then we go to the city and tell them what we're going to be doing, get approval. We already have approval from the provincial government with the historical status, and we'll revamp this place to be a multi-functional venue.
Oh.
Like with an extended stage, open up the spiral staircase again, put up some box seatings, a soundboard,
Oh my.
so that you can have, other than just a movie, you can't make it just showing movies.
No.
So
Wow, that's a big plan.
it's a big plan, and we're energetic and we're going to go for it. We think we can do it.
So what, and there may not be an answer to this, but what quality in Rotarians, what do you think that piece of the Rotarians' philosophy, or the Rotary's philosophy, makes the Rotarians so passionate about being involved in a project like this?
Well, the Rotarians' motto is give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. So that's what we do. So for us, we don't like selling tickets. If we can get this to where we think we can, we can be making enough money to inject back into the community to the worthy causes that we support now, which is substantial.
That's
So
excellent.
we don't want to have to be selling tickets to do that. We want to use this venue to be able to make that money, but also make it enough profitable so we can give some money back to the community, but also be inexpensive enough that the community and other nonprofits can use it.
That's excellent.
So-
So what kind of
yeah.
projects is the Rotary involved with?
Uh,
Somebody was just asking me this question today, that they get confused when it comes to service clubs in the community. So
okay, so Samus, our Rotary Club, Samus,
Yeah.
built Samus Rotary Park in Southridge,
okay,
okay, where everybody's really mad about the speed limit. That was the park that we
it's gorgeous.
built. It is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're slowing down a little.
Yeah, we just gave $10,000 to Elm Street School to put up a little gazebo for the school and for the community. We always volunteer for the Salvation Army and ring their kettlebells. We help out at the Gleaners. We built the flower pots at the hospital, the Rotary Ring out front.
That's beautiful
So-
too.
We donate to the mustard seed. We donate to the food bank, which is now called the pantry, the root cellar. Yes. So we're involved in a bunch of different things. We've talked about it at our club. I happen to be the president of the Rotary Club also.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. We have talked about, we as a club don't promote ourselves enough. So when you leave here on the front counter, we've now put a little bit of a billboard, that's a sample, and we're gonna start making that thing up so people actually know what we're involved in, what we're putting back into the community.
That's fantastic, because it's really obvious, even just from the little bit that
Yes.
you've shared with me, that you invest a lot back into the community.
Yes, yeah, we do. Yeah,
And what were your 3 words that you were mentioning earlier?
we give of our time, our talent, and our treasure.
Time, our talent, our treasure.
Yes,
Wow, this is certainly a treasure.
this
Yeah.
this will be a treasure.
Absolutely.
Yes,
That's a really beautiful partnership between with this building and the community, and the I don't want to use the word mantra because I don't feel like that's the right word, but the 3 pillars
yes,
of being a part of the Rotary.
yes. Because the reality is to do this as a private venture and to try to make money out of it, it probably wouldn't work.
Fair.
With the group of people that we have in Rotary, like Brian Robinson, for instance, who's looking after the renovation and the conservation plan, he is like invaluable. So with the Malcolm Sissons, the historian, invaluable. So we have a bunch of people in our group, on our committee, and a special committee that we put together of people that aren't actively involved, but are well-versed in the legalities and how to set up and how to do things correctly. And we are just going for it, basically.
Excellent. That's excellent. I can't wait to see what happens through here.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be quite incredible. As I said, I've seen it even with how it is now. I've been to a few events here, and it's phenomenal. So with a little bit of love.
yes, yeah, a little bit of love. Basically, we're bringing it back to 1935 to 1941. We can't go beyond that because of some of the renovations that have been done. And the city so far has been playing ball and
That's
letting
excellent.
us go through it. There was a lot of things that we didn't realize that when we took it over that had to be done before we could even open the doors. It's been kind of Mickey Mouse together for the last 15, 20 years. Let's put it that way.
That happens.
That happens. And nothing against the people that were operating it. We went up to Calgary and took a sound system out of the theaters up there. And their theaters, they're big, even their IMAX theater, all built the same. It's nuts. So a theater operator shouldn't be in the construction business.
That's fair. That's fair.
Makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's a specialty.
It's a specialty, yeah, because they just hodgepodge everything together. And one of the parts that I'm real excited about, and we don't know if we'll be able to do it, we're planning on opening up the basement to have like a mingling lounge and a static museum, because we have all kinds of stuff like this that have been left in the building, and we'd like to put it on display so people can actually see it.
Absolutely.
That would be
Yes.
incredible. incredible.
Yes.
Kirah was just checking this out beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
your
thought
new
it was-
camera is a little different than the old camera.
I thought that was a lamp. I
No,
thought that was a lamp.
that's a movie projector, one of two that you had to have to operate movies back in the day.
That's insanity.
So what's one of the most interesting things you've learned about since getting involved with the Monarch Theatre? What is one of the most interesting things you've learned about the Monarch and its history?
That it was actually half this size at one time.
What?
Yes, it was half this size, and on that side, and you can see it when you're downstairs in the basement, that side used to be the cigar store and a pool hall.
Cigar
Okay.
store and pool hall?
Yes, and then this was the theater on this side. So when you go downstairs, you can see evidence of how they did it, and they rebuilt the walls and cut the joists so that the floor could all line up. So there's a lot of renovating has went on here over the years. So
Interesting. So it really
Yes.
was a multi-purpose building in the
it was a
beginning, right?
multi-purpose building back originally, yes.
That's very cool.
So, and then obviously I want to get that spiral staircase opened up because I think this is a beautiful venue for a wedding
Absolutely.
or for that kind of thing, and taking your pictures. They'll have a room up there to get their makeup and do their stuff and come down the stairs. I think it'll be spectacular.
It'll be very classy.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
So,
you were mentioning about this documentary about the Monarch Theatre.
Yes.
So can we go back to that for a quick second?
Yes.
Because we were talking about this earlier. It was a StoryHive project as well, just like this podcast is a StoryHive project. So I
Yes.
think that's a really neat to be sitting in this building doing another podcast.
yes. And when Luke was doing the documentary, the theater was for all purposes closed. The city had owned it. They didn't know what was going to happen with it. So he had free reign, which was great for him doing his documentary. Then near the end of his documentary, or shortly after, we actually managed to get possession of this. And he was so ecstatic that he could actually debut this movie here, and was overwhelmed that he sold it out 15 times.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Is it coming back? Is it something else that's going to come back? I am ashamed to say I missed it the first time, so
Okay.
it's a selfish question.
Okay, I believe it will be coming back, but we don't know when. And I think Luke will be doing a follow-up. He's been kind of coming around, seeing what we're doing and stuff. So I'm not sure where that's going, but
Fantastic.
yeah.
Oh, that's really great.
Yes.
So when is the hope to have the renovations and this beautiful building restored to all its glory?
Okay, at the end of this month, once we have this conservation plan in hand and approval from the province, then we go to the city, say, here's what we want to do. Are you guys going to back us and support us? And I can't see any reason that they won't. This is a gem for the city, for everybody.
Absolutely.
Then we start fundraising because basically we're going to spend close to $1 million here.
I would think so.
Okay, so then we will start fundraising, and then we'll bite off little pieces at a time. As you've noticed, the front has been redone.
It
So we
looks
had to
great.
do anything to save the envelope so that no more damage was getting done.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the wiring's been redone. All the plumbing. There's, I believe, 7 bathrooms in here. We have them all working now.
That's good, because that was not the case when I was here last time.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
exactly. So we've actually moved the projector over to the center where it was supposed to be, because it was over on the side because they didn't want to move one of these things. And just a lot of little things like that we've done to basically enhance it, make it more usable, user-friendly.
That's excellent. So are we still showing movies?
Well, yeah. There's a couple coming on this month.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And is that then what the proceeds go to when people come to the Monarch to watch a movie, that some of that is part of the money that'll go back
Okay.
into restoring the Monarch?
Yes, there's only one that we're actually putting on. It would be the first one that we're putting on. Every other event is somebody else putting on. We rent them the theater. We work, we clean up, we do what we have to do. They just pay a flat rate, and then they do the proceeds.
Huh.
We're doing Elf, I believe, on the 22nd. That will be the first time.
Elf is potentially my favorite Christmas
Okay,
movie.
so the first time we're actually going to charge. So it's going to be $5 to come in, $5 for your pop and popcorn. We're going to see how it goes. On December 14th, Quick Dick McDick, the comedian, has been put on by the Ag Center in Irvine, and it sold out, I think, in a couple hours without any advertising.
Oh, why?
Wow.
We're planning on doing that again, possibly in February.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've never heard of the guy, but apparently all the farmers know who he is.
I think I may have seen a few videos. but-
Okay. Yeah. So that's the kind of plan. So, and that being said, we have to fall into the historical status of the building, like getting the restoration of that kind of stuff. If you notice on the ceiling, you can see lines and circles on there. We're going to get that painted back on.
Gorgeous.
Put in a new sound system, rebuild the screen. Yeah, so hopefully we can get at her.
That's excellent.
And there's lots of volunteer help from the community, and lots of the contractors are more than willing to give us good deals.
That's excellent. So it's really a community
It's
project.
it's a community project, and we are Rotarians. We're not scared to ask.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
That's a really good quality. That's a hidden talent.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Well, and there we go. So we're treasure in the building. There's a lot of time being invested
yes.
through this. So it
Yeah.
sounds like it's truly a great fit with the with
With-
Rotarians.
With the aspect of Rotarians, we have pretty well everything covered. Like with the Rotarian group, we're not all into one thing. There are a multitude of venues that people have been involved in. We have bankers, we have accountants, we have doctors, we
That's
have
excellent.
contractors, we have engineers, we have everybody. So, and we're just utilizing everyone we can. So, and it's working.
That's excellent.
That is brilliant.
Just before we let you go, Frank, is there anything else that people should know about this incredible building?
When we're open to operate, just come and support us. You'll be amazed what this is going to look like when we get finished.
Wow,
So.
it's pretty a gem now. So
It's
I
a
can't
gem
wait
now,
to see what
yes.
it looks like with a
Yeah.
little bit of extra love and TLC.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will definitely be one of those people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's a very comfortable venue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the seats
So,
are great.
Yeah. So,
Dalton's sitting in one over here now.
Yeah, my mom's sitting over
Yeah.
there.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing with us, Frank. It's
Okay,
awesome.
thank
and
you.
I hope that it's very successful. I have no doubt that it will be, because it sounds like there's a lot of passion for this project.
yes, yes.
So
There's a lot
And-
of heart. There's a lot of people that are put a lot of time into it. We're going to make it work.
I know
That's just
a
how
few
simple it is.
Rotarians, and they don't give up easy.
No, no.
So I have every confidence this will be lovely. I can't wait to see that. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
much, Frank.
And good luck with your acting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to debut your
Yeah,
first
maybe,
thing here. Wouldn't
maybe.
that be great?
Well, even if we were doing like comedians and one-man shows here, you could do that. You can't do a play because there's no back rooms or change rooms, but you could do a one-person performance.
Absolutely.
So
Tips
we have options.
later. Okay, does it split here? Like- Oh, it's right there.
Wow.
Oh, it is there too.
That is incredible.
They look so small when you sit back there, and then when you get up close, it's so much different, hey?
Yeah, I think that's why no one sits in the front row of a movie theater.
I had a friend that used to sit in the front row, and we couldn't be friends for very long. We could never go to the movies together because I can't see that high.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't know that was like that much community support for a theater like this.
No, I didn't realize that it was the last of its kind. What a special thing
Yeah.
in our little community.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it came right out of a page of a history book.
Yeah, it's pretty special. It's pretty special. I'm really thankful that Rotarians have taken this on to be a part of this. And I'm really thankful that
Yeah.
your mom came to share a little bit about your family's story through
Oh
this
yeah,
piece.
that's true. My family is the definition of a good kind of insane. That's
Yeah, I
and
could say that.
as Robin Williams described, acting is legalized insanity. You can't just simply do acting on the street and just have it go, that's a man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've used that quote way too often in my life ever since I went to high school.
It fits for you, though. It's okay
Yeah.
if you find something that fits to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are, I think, just about done here for
Yeah,
today.
definitely.
I could talk forever.
Me too, honestly.
I would talk longer if they turned that popcorn machine on, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that come the holiday season.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what their popcorn tastes like because I've only been to the Monarch to watch one movie.
Oh, well, just wait. You're going to get it soon. You're going to get it
definitely.
soon. It's excellent. Thanks for joining us today, for hearing some incredible stories from Frank and Elaine, and for learning a little bit more about the community we live in and some of our incredible people in our community.
Yeah, Rotarians, parents, siblings,
You.
and you.
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you later. Keep adapting.
And stay cool. See ya.